90% of startups and innovations fail. So in order to succeed, first validate that there's a market, because the number one cause of failure is a lack of market. Hi, I'm West Stringfellow, and I created the Business Evolution Masterclass series to teach you how to bring your ideas to life. The Business Evolution Masterclass series walks you through everything you need to know to successfully innovate. Everyone learns better with real tangible examples, so I'm using AI as the focus of our innovation. In the last video, we validated that AI is a credible technology by answering 10 questions. The next step is to validate the market around AI, and that's to look at the customers and ask, do customers want AI, and are customers using AI? So today, we're going to go over three primary questions. How do you validate the market for your idea? How do you use market validation with popular innovation frameworks like Lean Startup, Design Thinking, and the Business Model Canvas? And then how do we validate the artificial intelligence market? And for this, I've pulled together a robust example presentation that I'll give to you. And this presentation is similar to that which I would give to a CEO of a Fortune 50 if they were looking to validate the AI market for their own investments. All right, so step one, how do you validate the market for your idea? So what is market validation? Market validation is an iterative process that checks if people want your product or business idea before you spend time and money designing and developing it. It helps you understand your potential customers and can make it easier to get funding and support for your idea. Why is market validation critical? Well, as I said at the beginning, entrepreneurs and innovators have a failure problem. 95% of new products fail, 70% of transformations fail, and 50% of new businesses fail within the first 5 years. So to prevent failure, we want to first assess whether or not there's a market for what we plan on launching. And that's why we do market validation, because it helps us reduce the risk of failure and maximize success. It does this by ensuring a market is large and growing before we put our time, money, and credibility on the line. We'll use insights derived from research to refine our idea before designing and building it. And we'll use data to find unmet customer needs and work backwards towards our idea. And it allows us to make data-driven decisions for financially sustainable growth. And how do we validate our market? It's a real simple process. We're going to research the market, and we can do this largely with secondary research or existing research that's out there for free. We record our notes, and it's just collecting and organizing the insights from our research. And I'll show you what my notes look like. They're messy. Then we reflect on what we learned, and that's just analyzing the data to determine if there's a viable market. We refine our market pitch, and I like pitching myself. Like, I think it's very important to be able to at least convince myself that I have a good pitch before I try to go pitch investors or the CEO of a company. I've never gotten the pitch right the first time. I've always found it requires a lot of iteration to get it to the point where I feel comfortable with it. And so it's an iterative process. We'll research, record, reflect, refine until we're confident in our understanding of the market. And then once we have that confidence, we go speak to customers and validate our assumptions. So let's go through this step by step. In the first step, we're going to research the market. That requires gathering secondary research from credible sources to understand the market landscape. What we're looking for is to understand the market size, the customers, and the customer use cases. I'm providing a document that gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do this very specifically, like how to find the companies in the market, what data you're looking for, how to organize your findings. And then I also go into the data sources that I use and I find most useful. And this is hopefully a solid foundation so that you can just get going with your idea right now today. A link to this document will be below as well. It'll be in the presentation. The second step is to record your notes. And all that means is collecting and organizing insights from research into a centralized location, or just copying and pasting what you discover into a document. Once you have it in that document, you're going to categorize and summarize your key findings, and then identify patterns and areas for further investigation. And let me show you, this is a quick overview of the notes that I pulled together for the AI market validation that we'll go through at the end of this video. I did around 222 pages of notes. And look, that's probably overkill for most use cases, but I wanted to give you a realistic example of what it takes to pass muster with the Fortune 50 C-suite. And so, I personally enjoy this. I love research. I love the whole process, but research is a particularly fun part. Actually, that's not true. I love all of it. It's just, they're all fun. That's why I do this. The third step is to reflect on what we've learned. And that's just analyzing the data to determine if there's a viable market, identifying potential opportunities and challenges, and developing hypotheses around the market and its needs. The fourth step is to refine our market pitch. And that's iterating and improving the pitch to better align with market needs, developing a unique value proposition and key messaging, creating a clear and concise pitch that resonates with the target market. And again, at the end of this presentation, I have included an example of the pitch, and I'll give that to you so that you can see what it is. The fifth step is to repeat. You'll never get all the research, reflection, and refinement right the first time. It takes me a couple revs. Once we have our pitch pulled together and can validate the market, we then go speak to customers. When we do, we're looking to validate our assumptions and then gain deeper insights, which help us refine our pitch. And if we have money and time, we can do surveys and focus groups and formal interviews. We're going to use all the data we get to refine and iterate on the market pitch and strategy. And as we're doing this iteration, a value proposition starts to become clear, the most obvious value proposition that the customer needs, that the market needs. And that's where we're going to get the most initial traction for any idea that we have. And that's what we're looking for, is that early product market fit that gives us the ability to scale. Now that we understand how to validate the market for your idea, let's learn where market validation fits with popular innovation frameworks. And we'll look at Lean Startup, Design Thinking, Business Model Canvas, the Startup Owner's Manual, and Disciplined Entrepreneurship. So I just wanted to show you where this fits in the process for each of the major design, product, and innovation frameworks. So for Lean Startup, we want to confirm that there's a large and growing market before defining our idea. And that's just literally before we come up with an idea that we're going to build or prototype, we want to make sure that there's a market that's large and growing. For the business model canvas, we want to validate that there's a large and growing market before we even fill out a single cell on this canvas. For design thinking, before we empathize with the customer, we have to understand the market the customer's operating in. For the Startup Owner's Manual, validating the market is actually the first step of customer discovery. And for disciplined entrepreneurship, validating the market is the first step. Now we're going to dive into a market validation example that I pulled together for artificial intelligence. As I was diving into this, I realized that it's not just AI, there's healthcare, education, gaming, business, consumer, and industrial. For the purposes of this masterclass, I just chose business AI because I'm familiar with that technology and that market, so it makes it faster. But it was super fun learning about healthcare and education in particular. Highly recommend that you explore the broad AI landscape to find what intersects with your interests, your passions, and your experience. All right, so let's dive into the actual validation. I always like to start by defining what we're talking about, especially with AI. There's a lot of different ideas about what AI is. And so let's just baseline what AI is. So artificial intelligence is a technique that equips computers to emulate human behavior, enabling them to learn, make decisions, recognize patterns, and solve complex problems in a manner akin to human intelligence. It's a broad field, and it's very, very deep. The topic that most people are excited about and talk about right now is generative AI, which is a subset of deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning. And generative AI is just one deep learning capability. There are dozens. Given that generative AI is very much the zeitgeist topic right now, I focus the market validation on that technology. I'm not going to read you everything on this slide because you can read and you can download this for free. One of the big insights that came out of the research is the reason people are talking so much about AI is they're interested really in automation. AI is just a piece of technology that's going to enable automation. And I found this fascinating graph from A16Z, which is a venture capital firm, that shows the level of human intelligence required to automate a potential task. And as you see from this graph, which was from just a couple months ago, we're at the very beginning of automation. When we talk about automation, there are different levels, everything from, attended, which is kind of robotic desktop assistant. We could think maybe of GPT, something like that. Maybe, batch processing, unattended, intelligent, and then full automation. Tesla's full self-driving as it works today is unattended, where the driver has to manage the exception. The full self-driving would be where the driver doesn't have to manage any exception. The car just drives itself. Businesses are pursuing full automation right now. And I think that's a really important thing to understand, not just as an entrepreneur or an innovator, but just as an employee and a worker. Like, this is happening. The momentum from 0 to 5, from manual to full, the evolution is beginning. And it's very important to track and try and figure out the long-term implications of this for yourself, for your business, and for anything you're trying to build. Now that we've defined what AI is and principally why people are excited about it, which is automation, let's look at, is AI a large and growing market? And what we're going to try to understand here is the TAM, which is the total addressable market. I was really excited to find this awesome analysis from Bloomberg, and it's recent, so June 1st, 2023. One of the things that's really hard about doing this kind of research is you find that the numbers shift pretty dramatically over time, especially as people get a deeper understanding of the market. So as you're looking for numbers, it's always good to check the recency of it. 2023 is not too long ago. However, in a fast moving market like AI, there might be better data that's more recent. This is the best data I could find in terms of the specific breakouts. Suffice it to say that yes, the AI market is large and growing. Bloomberg forecasts that generative AI revenue will be 399 billion in 2027 and 1.3 trillion in 2032. And all categories of generative AI have high TAMs and high growth, high CAGRs, which is compound annual growth rate. So we understand the technology and why people are using it. We validated it's a large and growing market. Now, what are they using it for? Like, are they actually using it today, and for what? This is where I thought the analysis got really interesting, because for all the noise people are making about AI, only 6% of businesses are forecast to be using it this fall. And that's up from 5.4% on February of 2024. When we look at usage by firm size, it's a bit of a U-shape where we see large firms using it and small firms using it more so than the mid-sized firms. And as I dove into why this was happening, what we see is that large firms have very high costs and they want to reduce those costs. And so they're excited about automation and therefore investing in AI and using AI. And then small firms have very low budgets. They don't have enough money to do what they want to do. And so automation is very exciting for small firms because they can do more with less. And I found that to be quite interesting, that the small firms and the large firms both have the same desire, but from a very different place. Large firms have a ton of money, small firms, not so much. Now, when we look at the most commonly adopted AI use cases, we see it's really about enhancing customer experiences, improving service operations, driving product innovation, and broad applications across various business functions. I was excited to see this because the diversity of use cases across business functions speaks to a very large opportunity. The more business functions that are currently using AI, the more solutions that can be created with AI for the different business functions. I was very excited to find this chart because it talks about how costs are decreasing and revenues are increasing from AI adoption. And keep in mind, this is AI, broadly AI. Businesses are seeing a positive impact across all business functions. For this particular survey, over 50% of respondents reported significant cost decreases, and 60 to 60% of respondents reported revenue increases. Looking across the diversity of business functions, we see that it's adding value and saving money for a wide range of business responsibilities. Again, speaking to a lot of opportunity in this market in the near and long term. So we've looked at why businesses are using AI. Now let's look at why businesses are not using AI, because that's one of the bigger opportunities. This data blew me away. Almost 81% of businesses who are not using AI say that AI is not applicable to their business. And that speaks to two things. Either there are not current solutions that solve their problems, which is a big opportunity, or the technology is not ready yet to solve their problems. Now, I don't mean to be dismissive of these customers' perspectives. You know, if someone says AI is not applicable to their business, I believe them. But if you look back at old footage, TV footage from when computers came out or the internet launched or smartphones started, you'd see hundreds of CEOs saying, this won't affect my business, this changes nothing. And in fact, it changes many things. And so I think AI is probably going to follow that course as well. So does AI actually impact business performance? Yes. I found this data to be amazing. AI users report 7.5% higher current performance and forecast 17.2% higher future performance. And this really speaks to the division that is forming in business. Businesses that are early adopters with AI should expect to consistently outperform their competitors. And businesses that choose not to adopt AI can expect to potentially underperform their competitors. And this performance advantage is durable. Companies that implement AI successfully get a rapid acceleration in cost reduction and productivity, and that drives a long-term durable competitive advantage. So what are the companies that use AI using it for? There's a wide range of capabilities that they're using it for, but the themes that are stated here, and we'll see reiterated and echoed throughout the rest of the analysis, are marketing automation, data analytics, chatbots, natural language processing, which is chat or messaging, communication, basically. And then, you just go down the line there. It's data and communication thematically. So for businesses that use AI, what changes have been made? There's a range of changes. I filtered it down to the top 4, but it's really developing new workflows, training existing staff, purchasing cloud services and storage, and changing how the companies collect and manage their data. For companies that use AI, these changes are expected to grow significantly in the next 6 months. And 17% of these businesses expect to use vendors or consulting for AI. So that speaks to a market opportunity to help businesses who are implementing AI develop new workflows, train staff, figure out which cloud services and storage to use, and manage their data. So you can see at this point, we've started to refine the market. We've defined the technology. We validated the market is large and growing. We validated that our users and those users are seeing value from it. We've also validated that there are a lot of people who haven't used it yet, but probably will. And now among those that use it, we start to see some of their explicit needs. And this gives us the ability to start developing ideas, value propositions, business models around which we can build our business. So this data was great. I was super excited to find this. And then with everything, especially new technology, there are some challenges, but I always see the challenges with new technologies as opportunities. And what we see here is some great data that shows us that around 40% of S&P 500 companies talked about AI, but only 13% were able to report value. So this means that there's a lot of money going in investing and trying to create capabilities, and some people haven't quite figured out how to do that. And again, I think that's a tremendous opportunity. And given that it's being led by the S&P 500 and 40% of them are talking about it, we're talking about a market-wide opportunity. Now let's look at the usage of generative AI. What we see is that businesses are using it primarily for marketing and sales and for product and or service development, but also using it across the entire organization, which speaks to the opportunity. Now, if we zoom into how marketing and sales, product and service development, and IT are using generative AI, we see that their usage is distributed across a couple simple use cases. But what I found notable in particular about this slide is how low the usage was. And so, here we see 34% of marketing and sales are using it, but here that's distributed around a couple use cases. And that says one of two things. One, that there's limited product market fit with the technology right now, or that there's limited product market fit with the solutions that are presenting the technology. The other is that there's massive future market potential. Now, you may look at this and think, well, clearly there's not a market here. But if we look at these stats, we find that those with expertise in generative AI find a large benefit from generative AI, especially around marketing and product improvements. And so to me, this speaks to the potential of the market. A lot of the data that we've gone over so far is sourced from McKinsey and Deloitte and big consultancies that work with big firms. This specific survey was fantastic because it interviewed small businesses. And what we see is that small businesses are using it for the same reasons as large businesses. So if we were to build a solution that solves the large business problem, we may be able to get the small business too, and potentially vice versa. It typically works though that you build for large and then you can distribute to small. And again, just looking at how people are using it, I look at the people who aren't using it as future market potential, especially with a technology like AI that's going to be as transformative as I believe it will be. And just as there was with general AI, there are challenges with generative AI. Those challenges are really around data and risk and responsible use, and the operating model, which speaks to risk and responsible use. Now, I see these as opportunities. You know, that if you can help companies wrangle their data, if you can help them manage their risk and their operating model, then those are big needs and therefore big opportunities. So this is clearly a market that's worth exploring. Now let's look deeply at the customers specifically. So there's this great survey that I found that gives executive perspectives on AI. BCG did it. It's 1,400 C-suite execs in 50 markets and 14 industries. And what they said is, we want AI. 89% of executives rank AI and generative AI as a top 3 tech priority for 2024. 85% say they will increase their spending on AI in 2024. And speaking to the opportunity, 66% of leaders are ambivalent or dissatisfied with their AI progress. That's a huge opportunity. What we see here, again, is thematically the need for training, the need for governance, and the need for AI is high across a very large range of executives. Now, if we zoom in specifically to chief executive officers, and why it's important to focus on them is they generally set a lot of the major strategic and buying decisions for a company, and AI is certainly that. CEOs ranked product and service innovation as their highest priority for the next 3 years. And specifically, 71% have generative AI pilots. So this is a survey from IBM, which would be dealing with very large companies typically. 71% having Gen AI pilots is enormous. And product and service innovation is their highest priority for the next 3 years. There's a reason I open sourced How Do's innovation training so that everyone can learn how to innovate, because all CEOs want innovation. I won't walk through the rest of these stats because it's just obvious at this point that CEOs want AI. And as we saw at the technology level, CEOs have challenges that can become our opportunities. I won't walk through these stats, but suffice it to summarize them as they need governance, they need data, and they need help. Again, speaks to the massive market opportunity. And the last customer that we'll look at is CFOs, because in my experience, if you convince the CEO and the CFO that something needs to get done, it generally gets done. According to a survey done by the Fed, which included CFOs of large and small firms, 55% said that their firm had automated processes using AI in the last 12 months. 80% said that they were thinking about implementing automation in the next 12 months. And the reason that they're going to implement automation is enhance business process, which is reduce costs, increase efficiency, increase quality, increase quantity, all the basics of business. You know, they're trying to grow revenue and save costs. They see AI as a method to do that. Speaks specifically to the CFO job, but also the fact that 80% of them are thinking about it, massive opportunity. So in conclusion, have we validated the business AI market? Yes. The market is large and growing fast. Many customers are using AI. Customers have a diverse set of use cases. Many customers express a desire for more AI, and there are many challenges to be overcome, and those challenges are our opportunities. So now that we've validated that the AI market is a killer opportunity, what do we do next? Well, we're going to brainstorm ideas, and I'm going to show you how to do that in my little brainstorms. And then we're going to go talk to customers, because that's how we get deeper insights. So I hope you join me as we continue to explore the business AI market as an example of how to innovate in your business. And because we're exploring business AI, hopefully you learn how to actually apply AI to your business as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you joining me on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you know someone who it could benefit, please share it with them. And I look forward to innovating with you.